Fans from around the world are queuing to pay their respects to Pele, who many regard as the world's greatest footballer. Newly sworn-in Brazilian President Lula da Silva says he'll be among the mourners.
The return of the king to his beloved Santos was welcomed with flags, flares and fans singing his name as he was transported back to the pitch that made Pele a superstar, his home ground, Vila Belmiro. Placing him on the centre circle one last time was a little less smooth than his fans had been used to seeing in life. It was a traditional open casket as his family said their goodbyes, with his son Eginho saying a quiet prayer. As the dignitaries started to arrive, they were led by FIFA President Gianni Infantino.
Of course, we pay tribute to him by being here. We pay tribute to him by asking all the federations now to pay a minute of silence and tribute to Pele. But we're also going to ask every country in the world to name one of their football stadiums with the name of Pele.
The first fans to file past his coffin had queued overnight, desperate not to miss their chance to reflect on an incredible life. First in the queue was Saulo, who travelled from rural São Paulo to be part of history.
When I saw him lying there, I wished it wasn't him. But that is the reality we are faced with today. There's no question that man was Edson Arantes do Nascimento, Pele the King. He will forever live in our hearts and memories for generations to come.
Thousands had the same idea, dressed in the iconic colours of Brazil or the black and white of Santos, some making the pilgrimage from all over the world.
I was born in St. Lucia originally, and growing up, when I played soccer, he was the first black person we recognized as one of the greatest, and everybody on the island wanted to be Pele. And when I moved to New York, I saw him play at the Cosmos in New York for Cosmos, together with Franz Beckenbauer.
She landed on a terrible day for Brazil and thought, well, I can't miss this. I've grown up with football, I love football, and yeah, I had to come here and share feel the sense of pride sharing this with everyone that's here.
Thank you, Pele, because he was the king of football.
And of course players he'd been inspiring for generations.
Edson Arantes do Nascimento wasn't born here, he didn't die here, but for 19 seasons he put this place on the map, so much so that the Brazilian government made him an official national treasure and he couldn't play anywhere else.
He'll stay here until Tuesday morning, and after a procession through the streets, his final resting place will be just 200 metres away, close enough to still hear the roar of the crowd. Jackie Beltrao, Sky News, Santos.
And let's take you live now to Vila Belmiro Stadium in Santos, Brazil, where the public are paying their final respects to football legend Pele. You can see the crowd making their way through the procession. Pele's open casket in the middle underneath that awning where a number of people still remain seated, but you can see clearly the authorities are trying to get every last person through before this casket procession begins in just under an hour's time. The casket of Pele will be carried through the streets of Santos. It will pass in front of the home of his 100-year-old mother, Celeste, before a private ceremony for the burial at the Ecumenical Memorial Necropolis ceremony. Now, FIFA's President Gianni Infantino has been among many of the mourners there, paying tribute to Pele. He has urged every football nation, including Australia, to name a stadium in Pele's honour. And you can certainly see that stadium there in Santos, Sao Paulo, Brazil, is certainly honouring Pele. I think we're just seeing the final people there at the end of that queue that'll be going past Pele just in a couple of minutes' time, or actually there's a few more people coming through there, perhaps just the final gaps before this procession begins in the coming hours. Live there from Santos, Brazil.